Hello, I'm Sandra Sully and welcome to 10's Late News. Revelations: the man suspected of killing a mother of two was on death row for another murder. Humiliating admission: the Liberal leader embroiled in a seat-sniffing scandal.
It's hard dealing with these matters and having to face up to your responsibilities behaviourally publicly. It's harder to do it privately. 300% tax hike. The plan to crack down on beer and wine sales.
Would be nothing more than a slug on working men and women.
Plus, Alex Perry turns up the heat at Australian Fashion Week. Then the AFL's 19th man controversy. Headline Sports tonight with Brad McEwen.
Sandra, the Sydney Swans have been fined $50,000 for having an extra player on the field against North Melbourne. And changes to be made at Sydney's ANZ Stadium following Barry Hall's broken wrist. Also tonight, bottom of the ladder and booze. Can South Sydney's woes get any worse?
That we thought that we climbed completely out of the hole that the Rabbitohs had been in.
And Mike Hussey hits out at the Indian Premier League.
This is the umpire killer. Nowhere to go. The only thing he had to save him there was his walkie-talkie.
The prime suspect wanted over a shotgun killing in Melbourne was sentenced to death 40 years ago. Police have released pictures tonight of Lee Robinson, who's wanted for questioning over the murder of a mother of two.
Thanks, Sandra. Police released photos tonight in the hopes of tracking down Lee Robinson, and that's now prompted his stepson to issue a plea for him to turn himself in. This is the man police are seeking, 60-year-old Lee Robinson, wanted over the murder of Tracy Greenbury. Robinson's stepson Daniel now fears for his life.
You know, the man's a convicted murderer and a rapist.
Robinson was on death row in 1968 for murdering a teenage girl. That was commuted the following year and he was paroled in 1983.
Should never have been let out of jail, ever. And if they get him and they put him in, they should never let him out again.
Daniel says he and his three sisters were raped by their stepfather and believes Robinson may have developed an obsession for Tracy Greenbury.
I really feel for her family and for her, how she suffered, because he would have scared her to death.
The mother of two was hunted down and shot in the head on her neighbour's doorstep. Her parents, Max and Pam Greenbury, devastated they weren't there to save her.
At least I probably could have been in front of her. Could have been in front of her.
Mr Greenbury says his daughter began to fear her killer 2 weeks ago, telling her dad the man had been in prison on murder and rape charges. The 34-year-old went to end the friendship, but her father says he went for 2 hours. Tracy's parents say their daughter loved life and her 2 kids.
Oh, those poor children. Her poor children.
Elisa Throden, 10 News.
A man wanted over the murder of a Sydney father at the weekend has handed himself into police. Late News reporter Daniel Sutton joins us with this exclusive report. Dan, he's with police now.
Well, Sandra, I'm at the Sydney Police Centre tonight where detectives from the Homicide Squad are interviewing 24-year-old Moroni Tongahai. Now, as these exclusive pictures show, he arrived here earlier tonight accompanied by his lawyer and agreed to speak with officers about the murder early on Saturday morning here in Sydney of Solomon Penatani. Now, he was shot dead at the Churchill Sports Bar at Kingsford. Now, police have been after him for about 24 hours. They issued an arrest warrant and warning he could be armed and dangerous. We can't show you his face, though, for legal reasons. The victim, though, Mr Penatani, has been described as a loving father of 4 young children. He was shot 3 times in the arm, the side and the chest. It happened at about 4 o'clock in the morning and followed an argument in the pub after a day of Anzac Day celebrations. Now, 2 other men have already been charged in relation to this attack, but my information is police will allege it was Mr Tongahai who pulled the trigger in this case. Now, he is expected to be charged with murder tonight and face court here in Sydney tomorrow. Sandra?
Dan Sutton reporting there in Sydney tonight. Well, hundreds of angry